This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
It is a numbers game here on VSiN, the sports betting network. It is not Gil Alexander. Matt Brown on the desk here with Kelly Bidlin for the next, I got 2 weeks in here.
2 weeks, buddy. Buckle in, man.
2 weeks in here. So get ready. Sorry. I apologize in advance.
What are you talking? What are you?
You're welcome. Or you're welcome.
Yeah, what are you apologizing for? Nothing. I've been hyping it up for a week now. No worries, Matt. You only have to live up to giving out a 45-1 Stafford MVP from the last time you were filling in here. So,
well, I mean, I did get 50-1, but yeah, it's fine.
Sorry, I got 45.
I did get 50-1, but yes, that was an awesome hit for what ended up being an odd future season for me in the NFL. I had a ton on the Rams. None of that got home. Literally, none of it got home. So that was unfortunate.
So oddly for me, I think Gil and I were talking a bit about it yesterday. I'm sure we'll dissect the NFL season here later. We will. But this is, I still haven't run my numbers fully, which usually is a good indicator, Matt, that the season wasn't as great as you probably think it is if you're staying away from fully looking at your numbers. But the futures actually went well, partially thanks to you. Stafford, I got Seahawks home 6-1 NFC. Nice. So it was good, man. It was good.
Yeah, I didn't get the AFC South right. Got 2 losers out of that one, which was fun. Whenever I bought off of my Texans position onto a Colts position. So, but the 50-1 obviously comes in and still makes it profitable, but could have been a whole lot better. We will talk college basketball with Matty Cox a little bit later. Here we got some soccer with Paul Carr.
That's right,
and
man.
Some hockey with Jay Kahn, the most handsome hockey handicapper there is on the face.
Well, I'm excited. We're missing Drew Dinzig today. He is in Italy skiing. Yeah, let that sink in, Matt. In Italy skiing, and then I guess he's going to take in some of the Olympics. So we are missing on some Olympics bets from him. I'm going to bug him probably later in the week, see if he's got anything. I'm invested in USA. I told Gil I might wear red, white, and blue the entire 2 weeks while he's out. Not going to do that. But Jake, I'm a little surprised. I know Jake's heavy into the Olympic hockey here coming up, so we will be talking to him about that.
At Matt Brown M2, and of course at Kelly Bidlin on the Twitter machine if you want to join in on all of this. Last night, and we'll talk to Matty Cox about this here in about a half an hour, but Kansas, without Darren Peterson, who, by the way, was going for nearly 21 points and 4 boards a game, gave Arizona their first loss of the season there, Kelly Bidlin, 82-78. Kansas was down by as many as 11 there in the second half, but outscored Arizona 38-23 over the last 17 minutes of the game to hand them their first loss. And it was crazy there in Allen Fieldhouse. The got up to 118 decibels. And if you go to the Google machine, that will let you know that that's about a jet engine.
Wow. Yeah,
about a jet engine.
It's pretty good. This is one of these places that everybody says they'd like to go see a game at once. Matt, I would say the same thing. I just don't know what exactly is going to bring me to Kansas at any point in my life to take that in. It's just, sorry, it just is what it is.
It's a easier said than done thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I had this game on a TV last night, which, look, I think there's a lot of people who have said this. I don't know where you stand. Pretty excited about this college basketball season and where we're getting to. We've got a lot of star players, a lot of great big-time programs. This was kind of a must-watch game for me, and as you know, with me, it's usually NBA's taking up every TV with a full NBA slate like last night. I made room for that one. I thought it was really impressive. Kansas kind of staying in things. Then Arizona made that run in the second half, and I kind of started thinking this is over. Okay, they're pulling away. No Darren Peterson this game. It's a double-digit lead. A very impressive comeback from Kansas. I don't know where you want to go with here, but there's one thing I care about more than anything of this is Darren Peterson. And where we're at, we're talking number 1 pick in the draft. We've seen this move in the past week and a half where it was him and A.J. DeBanza about even, close to even money each one of them. Darren Peterson's out to minus 400 over at FanDuel, which I think is right. I've said for the past couple weeks, watched enough of these guys. I think Darren Peterson is a plug-and-play NBA scorer right now, and I think DeBanza has a lot of upside, but I do think these kind of separated. It's one thing after another with him now, and I think it was a concern before last night. I know he's dealt with real injuries, but then it's illness. It's kind of little injuries.
This was flu-like symptoms, they were saying, and apparently did go through pregame warm-up. And then they looked at him and said, "Can you go?" And he said, "I just don't think I'm going to be able to go." Everybody said the right stuff afterwards. Hey, you don't want him out there if he can't go, if he can't be 100% anyway. So I don't really know about the whole flu-like symptoms thing, whether or not I would be able to power through. I guess it is just how bad
How
it
bad it
is.
is, yeah.
I mean, I guess if you have no energy, if you feel you're just completely zapped, then maybe you're just not going to press it or something. But is at least a little weird in a game as big as this.
Right.
And you wouldn't you at least go to coach and go, tell you what, coach, maybe the adrenaline kicks in once the tip happens, and I'll know in the first 3 minutes whether I'm good to go or not. And then we can go from there.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. I would think that too. Look, it's a lot of questions. I think this kid has ultra talented, and look, NBA we can project forward, but Kansas, it's just Kansas the rest of the season, right? I mean, you just were sure hoping he was going to play a lot more games than what we've seen him in, and how does that affect them going forward? I mean, what if this is the Sweet 16? You know what I mean? That happens. It's going to be same result is going to happen. It's just a wild thought and something to just keep your eyes on going forward, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Took overtime, but St. John's did beat Xavier 87-82. They moved to 19-5 on the season, 12-1 over there in the Big East. But the news really coming out of this one, Rick Pitino moves to third all-time, 904 career wins. Only behind Krzyzewski and Boeheim. Krzyzewski has 1,202, so it will take
I was going to say, I don't know the number, but I'm going to guess he doesn't catch it.
Yeah, he has 1,202. Not going to get there. Unfortunately, Father Time would not allow that to happen there. And Jim Boeheim at 1,116. And then Louisville absolutely smoked NC State last night, 118-77. But the big story coming out of that one, Michael Brown goes for 45 points on 14 of 23 shooting, including 10 of 16 from three. Kelly, he had not scored more than 22 points in a game since mid-November, and prior to this one was shooting 27% from three, and he goes for 10 of 16.
Well, sometimes you're just feeling it, right, Matt? The shooting variance. We talk about it all the time, especially with live betting, and sometimes you're going to have a game where everything goes in.
Ryan Conwell there on Louisville had 31 of his own on 10 of 14 shooting. No other player had more than 9. Nobody else had 9. There was a 45 of 31, and nobody had more than 9.
That's my kind of box score.
There you go.
You know who can score. Give it to him.
Yeah, there it is right there. That's kind of our college basketball story for the night. The Pistons did end the Hornets' 9-game win streak. They won 110-104. They covered the 2.5. Game stayed under the 22.5. Cade Cunningham, 33-9-7 in this one, Kelly, in a fight. 4 people ejected, and then a coach a little bit later.
Oh, my God. Me and the crew were just going nuts about this earlier. Real quick, I just want to follow up. I wanted to make sure. SI latest mock draft, Michael Brown Jr., 7th overall. It's another player. I know we focus on these top guys. We're going to talk about it some today. We're going to talk about it a lot the next couple of weeks, some of these NBA teams and what they're doing and how we can attack them tanking-wise. And I know everybody wants to go nuts over the NBA, Matt, but this is top-level talent. I mean, you're talking about a guy going for, 44 last night? 45 last night, who's not even in this top 4 conversation, and he's just that next step down, and it's why this draft is going to be so important for these NBA teams. But yeah, Pistons, Hornets, I was excited going into it, Matt. I'm sitting at my desk doing a little Pebble Beach research while this game gets started, and then by halftime, I was fully locked in. This was... Chris Foster and I talking about it in the back. This is the disrespected Pistons, right, who have been the 1 seed in the East for so many months now against the Charlotte Hornets, who are on, you could make the argument playing the best basketball in the NBA over the past 2 months, especially in the Eastern Conference. These two teams going head-to-head. This is not the Knicks. This is not the Cavs. This is not the teams that get all the conversation, the Boston Celtics in the East. These are the two teams that are constantly overlooked. And, oh, man, as soon as there was a chance for tempers to flare, and you could tell these two teams are feeling that way. It was Isaiah Stewart took all of 2 seconds to get off the bench and get involved. We won't see him for a while. Miles Bridges, easy to throw some punches out there. It was quite a brawl, quite a game,
Might have been frustrated by his performance last night as well. 1 of 6 from the floor. Wasn't getting it going.
Yeah, not ideal. I from a betting standpoint, though, I do think it was. I think these are going to be 2 fun teams to talk about going forward. I don't think this Pistons defense is going anywhere, and I don't think this Hornets offense is going anywhere. Or the other 2 sides of the ball we could have conversations about. I think it was a great game. I talked about it yesterday. I know I heard Zach Cohen bring it up on Hardwood Handicappers as well. It's going to be interesting to see some of these lines that you're seeing on the Hornets now, because it did feel like yesterday. This closed at 2.5. I got it, I played the money line live. I actually waited till the game started on Detroit, but I've talked about it yesterday on the show. These numbers, if you saw that they were 2.5-point home dogs against the Pistons, 3 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, you would have said this is a crazy number. And this is really how far the Hornets team has come. I do think we've probably gotten to a point, though, where we're overrating them a bit now.
17-7 on the road now for this Pistons team.
Yeah.
So getting it going. Road Warriors.
Defense travels.
5.5 game lead over the Knicks and the Celtics over there in the East. Kelly, if we have enough time, let's see if we can jam in. Cavs, 2.5-point dogs, get it done. They win the fourth quarter by 7 points, 119-117 over Denver. Donovan Mitchell, 32-10. James Harden, 22-10-7, including 3 blocks with a step-back 3 to tie the game with 32 seconds left. Jared Allen, 22-13. Jokic's triple-double obviously does not equal a win. 22-14-11 for him. He had 7 turnovers, I might like to add in there, and missed the turnaround 3 as time expired to try to win the thing.
Oh, get it together, Jokic. 7 turnovers, unacceptable. Come on. This is, look, good win by the Cavs last night. They are a team that is playing well right now, but it's going to be interesting to see how James Harden really fits in here with this lineup. I think what we're seeing, like we saw last night, is what you should expect, except for the 3 blocks. I was not aware of that until you just said that. I'm looking at the box score now. Him and Donovan Mitchell combining for 5 blocks, I doubt is something we're going to see very often. But, yeah, I mean, instant offense for this team. I still have question marks about how high it raises their ceiling going forward and into the playoffs. But, man, I think when you can go Mitchell or James Harden always on the court, always on the ball, this is going to be a dangerous offense for the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you here on the other side what we think about this team moving forward. Is there a bet to be made on this Cavs team? 9-1 in their last 10 games. Harden looking pretty good through the first couple as well. What's going on with the Jazz, Sacramento Kings, maybe even some most improved player race? We got all of that and some big news from the Boston Celtics as well. It's a numbers game. Don't go anywhere.
Laptop or phone, couch or sportsbook, VSiN goes where you go. Wherever you watch VSiN, the experience stays seamless. Live shows, replays, and sports-specific clips all at your fingertips. VSiN Watch puts you in the driver's seat. Available in Roku, Samsung, Amazon, iOS, Android, app stores, or get it direct from the source at VSiN.com. Download VSiN Watch today on your favorite app store and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, Rob Stanton joins the program to recap the Seahawks win, plus discuss the Sheffield Wednesday streak, 10 in a row without scoring. Max Hoffmeyer talks college basketball slate. Derek Stevens to recap Super Bowl weekend and how the books did here. Follow the Money 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, SiriusXM Channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis, or get the VSiN Watch app.
Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers Game here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Matt Brown on the desk with Kelly Bidlin as we roll through additional NBA news. We talked about that stretch here by the Cavs, 9-1 over their last 10, 12-3 over the last 15. You add Harden, he's had a first couple of good games for them. They are 12-1 to win it all. Kelly, little too light there for them. I kind of like this team. I need you to talk me off.
Look, I think it's tough. I think Eastern Conference is tough. I don't know that I will have a bet to win this for maybe ever. I think I'm probably just going to be attacking it in the playoffs. I think rightfully so. Cavs, Knicks, Pistons, Celtics are those four teams kind of in that first tier. I get it. I keep going back to they feel like they're kind of copying the Knicks a bit to me. Like what's going through your mind right now is how is this talent not enough? And I kind of circle back to that with the Knicks always where it's just there's not that much. We've seen this team fail, the Knicks, that is, the past couple years fail for what we expected out of them. But you still look at the rest of the Eastern Conference landscape, and I think you can do this with the Cavs too. And it's how is this not good enough? How is this not good enough to get through? So look, I hear you. I think some people are going to have that opinion with the Cavs. I'm not ready to make a bet there, but there's not really anybody else that I'm rushing to bet instead either.
Yeah, the Pistons are an interesting case here. We just said 17-7 on the road, so it doesn't affect them when they're away from home. Got a big lead right now in the conference, but the argument I guess you always get about them, where's the experience? They haven't been there, done that. Who's the second best player? And I actually think this one is a fair critique, which is if Cade Cunningham's not having a night, then who can they lean on? And I do think that is a real question about this team.
Absolutely. You hit it perfectly. The first part I don't really care about. Yeah. You can say that about every team until they win it, right? Sam Darnold's a trash quarterback till he wins a Super Bowl, right? You can't really say that anymore. I do think it is fair to wonder, fair to question. And for me, a little bit, it's just a real shame that things didn't work out with Jaden Ivey there, because I really thought he was going to be that guy. I believed in him, that he was going to be that guy to kind of take over that role. But if Cade Cunningham is hurt, in foul trouble, it just doesn't have it that night, right? And we know there's a lot of these teams that they're going to go up against that are very, very elite defensive teams that could take him out of the picture a little bit. Where do you go from there? Jalen Duren's become an incredible player. You've got Asar Thompson there, but he's much more of a defensive-minded player. You really going to be able to rely on Tobias Harris in big-time moments, time after time? I think that's a fair question.
All right, so we'll have your top 10 or top 5 or top whatever it is teams that are going to be tanking throughout the rest of the way. But the Jazz again last night, but they didn't complete it. So someone's got to give the memo to everybody on the team there, Kelly, because what you can't do is go win anyway, and that's exactly what happened. 115-111 winners last night over the Heat.
Well, I think it is a good example. I think it's a good example of how we talk about tanking all the time, right? Where when we talk about tanking, the front office and ownership and everybody can pull the certain levers and strings that they can to put out lineups or what we're seeing right now with the Jazz, I've never seen before, but you can set up lineups and rosters to look really bad. But nobody's telling these guys go out and lose the game, right? Yeah. So, Miami Heat ran into that last night. Bam Adebayo had some comments about it after the game about basically you can't lose to a team that pulls all of its starters in the third quarter and is going full on tank mode. Matt, do you ever remember seeing anything like this? This is 2 games in a row now that the Utah Jazz have done this. They acquired Jaren Jackson Jr. It's great. I talked about last week. I think this is an awesome core to build on going forward for this Utah Jazz team next year. But you're doing this whole, everybody's going to play. Keontae George missed last night. We're going to play all these starters. You got Yusuf Nurkic, a bunch of vets on this team. And then in the third quarter, pull the ripcord, and everybody goes to the bench. It's just, I don't know. We all know what tanking looks like in what the Washington Wizards are doing. Hey, let's acquire Trae Young. Let's acquire Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, go back to Dallas and work on your hand. That's what's going on in Washington right now. We can all complain about that. We know what's going on. But it's bizarre to send out a team onto the court and then third quarter say, no, everybody good, get on the bench. We got to play some of the young guys going forward. I've never seen anything like it. It's 2 games in a row now. The Jazz have done this. I got a bunch of questions on Twitter last night. How do we attack this going forward? Matt, until they prove otherwise, I don't think there's any reason to believe they're going to change from what they're doing right now.
Yeah, The thing is, too, is
unless the NBA stops them,
is like it seems like they could be a little bit better. I mean, because they're getting the guys like 25, 26 minutes in the game, so like you could always just pull the. We don't want to burn these guys out on a season that's
wasted.
That's
sure,
wasted.
if you're going to be honest, just be honest.
But just
about
like space it out better or something or whatever. Yeah, do something like that.
Look, it's been similar timing to what they did against the Magic and the Heat. Look, it's on my radar going forward, Matt. Looking to bet. Maybe I'm not betting against the Jazz going, before the game. Second half plays, right? Live plays. You need to be aware of it. I lost on a live bet last night on the Heat. I thought they were going to get, when I figured out what was going on, I jumped in, I lost. Player props, though, right? We've got a lot of live player props now, and this is, start looking to some of those guys to the bench. If you get books that are offering that type of stuff, these guys are going to come in and play 20 minutes to make up the rest of the second half. I think there's multiple ways that you can attack, at least what the Jazz are doing. We're going to go over some of the other tanking teams, but the Jazz are, in a stratosphere of their own right now.
Kings lost their 13th in a row. Pelicans won 20-94 winners there in that one. And Denny Avdia back for the Blazers. What's this going to do for the old most improved player race there?
It's got me scratching my head for sure. So then we talk about some of the other tanking teams. Kings, they've just been bad all year. Mm-hmm. I think they've just got a bad roster. I think they've got a truly bad coach. I think Doug Christie just doesn't know what he's doing. He's out of his depth. But we've got teams like this that are Doug Christie. I listened to a press conference with him after the game a couple of days ago. And he's just talking for minutes about getting the young guys more playing time. So a lot of these teams are tipping their hand to where they're going. Almost every single one of them, 13 in a row now. It's just incredible. In Portland, this most improved player race is getting very fascinating because I think Denny Avdia, I was ready to bet him probably 3 weeks ago, Matt. Then this back issue started to flare up. And once you've seen a guy, I think, miss time for multiple different occasions for the same reason, it becomes a major concern for me. So he got back in last night, which is great to see. He's minus 120 to win most improved player right now. Okay, the other two that have been involved in this conversation the whole year, especially the past few months, Jalen Johnson, he's been involved in this since the start of the year. Keontae George, I know Zach and JVT have bets on him to win most improved player. I know a lot of people at the network do. If the Jazz are going to continue to do this stuff, I can't bet on Keontae George right now, and I'm wondering if he's going to play his way out of this. We brought this up about a week ago on the show. But if you're telling me Denny Avdia is going to possibly miss more games here, not that I'm really worried about minutes or the games restriction or anything coming into play. Jalen Johnson has a very comparable case to Denny Avdia to win this, and I think at plus 240, you're seeing in that range. I think it's a pretty good bet right now.
Yeah, plus 240 on Johnson, 8-1 on Keontae George. Nickel Alexander Walker's 10-1.
Yeah, he jumped
and
up.
Then everybody else after that is 20-1 or longer in that market. Jason Tatum gets some good news here, and especially if you are a Celtics fan, in which he is able to go and practice with their G League affiliate, Kelly Bidlin. Boston 34-19 on the season without him, and so here we are with a major piece that could be added here, sometime in the next month or so.
Yeah, I think this is the one team. I was off on at the beginning of the year. They've played much better than I thought. You and I have done shows for years together. I think I was always in that camp that I wanted to see what Jaylen Brown could kind of do without Jason Tatum, and he has put on a hell of a season, helping lead this team. I had questions about this front court. Kata has been awesome this whole year. You add Vooch in here. They're the one team of the four. Of those four Eastern Conference teams: Detroit, New York, Cleveland, Boston. I'm going to be the last one, I think, to get overly excited about Boston. We're still talking about a guy coming off an Achilles. What is he going to be able to add, and how much of an impact is he going to be able to make, and how soon? I think those are fair questions. I think it's great to see he's back with the G League team. We've heard the different reports over the past few months about what this timeline really looks like for him. Obviously, that's good news if you're a Celtics fan. Obviously, if you can get a 70% Jason Tatum back into the rotation of any kind, that will help this team that doesn't have some of the depth that it's had in years past. I just question. I think for them to really be the favorite to win in the East or anything like that, you've got to have a very, very healthy Jason Tatum. And honestly, I'm a little interested and skeptical about what they did at the trade deadline. I don't know how much better Vooch makes them in taking away Anthony Simons with the heck of a season he was having. I think that move was made expecting Tatum was going to return and you needed to add to the front court for the playoffs. But I'm going to wait and see on that. It's going to be a wait and see for me.
Yeah, it's an interesting deal. I mean, even if the thing is, they play their way into a situation where they don't have to rush him back.
Yeah.
Right? So they can take their time. Even if he can't be the scorer this year that he was in the past, he's good at dishing the ball out. I mean,
good defender.
yeah, stuff like that. So, guys, head over to VSiN.com right now. You can check out Greg Peterson. He's got all his college basketball bets over there. Adam Burke's got his Purdue, Nebraska preview. Tyler Shoemaker's got all his stuff on men's and women's college basketball. We'll have golf stuff over there a little bit later as well. NHL every single day, too. So, VSiN.com/subscribe. If you're not a pro subscriber, you can come in for as little as $9.99. We'll come back. Matty Cox going to join us. We'll see what he thought about that game last night and everything else moving forward over there in college basketball. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers Game here on a Tuesday. Matt Brown in for Gil. He'll be back here in a couple weeks. What island did he go? Did he do it on an island?
No, down in Miami.
Okay.
He's doing his normal Miami trip.
Just the little 2 weeks in the sun for old Gilly. Come back in here nice and tan.
That's right. I don't really know. I always know what the first week is. There's usually a curveball in there somehow at the second week. So I don't really know. I know he's going down to Miami today.
I'm going to say an island in the second week.
Okay.
There it is. We'll lay some bets on that.
Good for him. I'm jealous.
Yeah,
that sounds nice.
Honestly, the weather's fine here right now.
Yeah, it really is.
If it was cold, I'd be like very jealous. But it's fine right now.
Oh, you better be careful on this show. I've been getting killed for the past couple months complaining about how cold it is around here.
Well, it's been warm for the last week.
It has been nice the past couple weeks. Yes.
Sure. Now joining us here on the Progressive Guest Line, Matt Cox. You can find him over at 3Man Weave at Matty_Cox on the Twitter machine. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
I'm fantastic, fellas. How are you?
Doing great.
Doing great. Only 30 degrees in Chicago, so we're feeling nice and cozy up here too.
That's why I said we got to be careful, man. We got to be careful.
I was gonna say, I think it was like 72 here yesterday, something like that. It was nice, short sleeves.
That's right.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. First, before we get to a couple of bets that you do have in your account, I want to talk about the game last night. Did it go as planned for you? Did you think that there was a chance that Arizona was going to get knocked off last night? Did you think Kansas was going to be able to be competitive without their star player? How did that all work out for you?
Yeah, I had a small wager on Kansas. I've just been a little bit higher on this team than I feel like most. It seems like the market's, I think, shaded a little bit more toward their way, but still not to the level I think that they're capable. The thing with Kansas, I know Peterson lifts their ceiling, right? And that was kind of the whole the big late breaking news is, did Bill Self manipulate the injury report? I guess he had flu-like symptoms, and there's been a whole second layer of drama behind the scenes there. But just with or without him, their interior defense is awesome, right? I think you saw that on display last night in the Texas Tech game. I mean, JT Toppin, maybe one of player of the year, All-American candidate. He just had struggle scoring against Badunga and Tiller. I mean, I think that translates, and even without Peterson, like their perimeter defense, and especially the backbone of that defense, they don't have to be hot on offense to win, right? So, and the way Melvin Council's played, and they've got contributions from these other guys, and they've had some big wins without Peterson. So I actually was going to say, I took a little bit of a KU future before the Texas Tech game. So now that's probably creeped out, I think, about 4 or 5% after that win last night. I do think this reminds me of that Remy Martin team a few years back where Kansas kind of made that late run, and people by March were talking about them as like, oh yeah, this is one of the 5 best teams. So yeah, I mean, Bill Self at home, they still got talent and they can defend. I think that's gonna keep them in every game, whether or not they're hot, whether or not Peterson's in there or not.
Matt, I want to kind of go a little bit further about that game last night and just ask a general handicapping question for you. So they talk about, I got up to 118 decibels in there. I guess that's the sound of a jet engine with that. I mean, obviously, about Allen Fieldhouse, you hear about Cameron, but how much do you factor in home court advantage? I know that there are probably places in which that matters more than others, but is this a thing that you're focusing on a night in, night out basis?
Yeah, this would be a whole separate podcast on how, how I can get my arms around home court. I think it does. It's such a small sample data problem, right? If you're trying to use just pure, home road split results, I think that you have to do something like that as a starting point, but it just changes a lot year to year too. I mean, Kansas last year at home was actually not that great. They were, they struggled to beat like mediocre teams by margin, but that was more a function of the team too. So I think the team quality is a big factor here. And I have run some data on attendance. You're starting to see some declining attendance, especially at the mid-major level, where there's sort of this bifurcation of like the home courts at the big premier atmospheres are still like, worth their weight in gold. But I think you're actually seeing a sort of an erosion of home court value at the middle and low major level. Just from my own betting portfolio this year, home underdogs has been by far my biggest losing part of that portfolio. I think just sort of going to show that perhaps I was overvaluing home, especially at the non-elite crazy environments like Fog, which certainly is an exception to the rule.
Yeah, that's interesting. Just going back to Kansas real quick, Matt, because I think this is a team I've been considering too, but much more of an NBA guy, as you know. I can't remember the last time I've been. It's probably Zion, where you're watching Peterson play and going, man, this guy's ready. Like, he's ready. Put him in right now on any NBA team, and he could score. I don't want to make a big deal too much of a big deal out of this with him missing that game last night, but is there any concern that you have? I guess not if you're saying you just bet a future on Kansas, but just his availability. What do you kind of make of this? I know we've dealt with real injuries. Yeah. We've dealt with odd reporting. Is this a concern at all for you going forward with this team?
It is, but I think, it's part of the uniqueness of handicapping Kansas, right? Like last night, if you were betting that game, I think if you made the line Arizona -3 with a fully healthy Peterson, I think you have to discount that by a 20% chance he doesn't play, right? So you should be taking kind of a weighted average adjustment there. But I do long term, I think he's with him in there, I think their ceiling is as high as any team, including the team they beat last night, Arizona, Michigan. Without them, I still think they're a top 10 team because of how good Council's play and how good that defense. So just in that range of outcomes, obviously for my future, yes, it'd be great to have him, but I'm actually not as concerned as maybe other people might be because I think they have other avenues to play at a high level to make a deep run in March. And, whether it's a false narrative or an overblown anecdote, Bill Self to me is a coach I trust in the tournament. I think he's pretty good at making adjustments in game, matchup wise, and I think optimizing his team's strength, which I think he's done a phenomenal job of this year. So that's a big part of my handicap there too for the future.
Talking to Matt Cox of the 3-Man Weave at Matty_Cox over there on the Twitter machine. Couple plays, 9 o'clock Eastern for you here on the card. We'll start Fresno State and Utah State. This is currently out to 20.5, 21 at Caesars, it seems like, in favor of Utah State. 150.5 to 151.5 available out there in the market as far as the total goes. How are you looking to play this one?
Yeah, I like Utah State here. I had two big favorites, which talking about my worst portfolio subset being home underdogs, my best has actually been large favorites, which I don't really bet a lot of. And you could debate that at this point in the season, they're not as strong of a bet as they are early in the season, as you kind of see some wear and tear in teams and let their foot off the gas. But I do think this Utah State team tonight had a close call against Fresno in the first meeting. They kind of hung in there, Fresno, for most of that game. I think they have their attention, especially off a game Saturday at Wyoming that they almost lost. So Jared Calhoun's a really good, he lights a fire under his guys after they play poorly. You look at how they played off that 2-game losing streak to Grand Canyon, UNLV. They went on the road and beat a healthy Colorado State team. And then, San Diego State, New Mexico in succession, I think kind of proves like when they're dialed in, I think they're a phenomenal team. Fresno's been good, but I think a little bit overvalued. I think tonight on the road, they're going to struggle at the Spectrum. So I think Utah State lays the lumber tonight.
I like it, Matt. I know you got another one you're laying a lot of points with here, Colorado State and Air Force.
Yeah, it feels unpatriotic betting against Air Force, but I've been doing that frequently. And the only game that they have covered in the last 5, I believe, was a crazy backdoor against Grand Canyon where they were down 30 at half and ended up, I think, winning the second half by 5 points. I think this is a pretty close, these two teams are pretty close together. I think Colorado State, while they're not super athletic, they eviscerated Colorado State in the first game. They eviscerated Air Force in the first game, won by 29 on the road. You could argue there's a little bit of revenge maybe coming back here, but I just think that's a sustainable, the way that they can attack Air Force's defense. And I think the way that Ali Faroukban has adjusted well to how Air Force is now playing under interim coach, they're kind of changing how they play, but it's not conducive, I think, as a dog. I think they're going to get manhandled by the more talented teams in this league because unless they're playing like that Princeton style offense, which wasn't working before, but now they're playing more traditional, just like, driving kicks, and they don't have the talent to do it. So I think Air Force, frankly, has a lot of downside left, even though they are rated pretty lowly in KenPom. I think they're going to be a fade for me coming down the stretch. And so tonight I'm just going to keep playing that angle with a team I like in Colorado State.
Matt, real quick on your way out, I was just scanning through conference odds right here, and West Coast Conference. I feel like we were talking about Gonzaga cruising with this thing a couple months ago. Minus 285, Santa Clara plus 270. Is this a bet I'm staring at with Gonzaga? I might have to lay a lot, but I thought this Gonzaga team was going to just run through this conference.
Yeah, the concern is their injuries up front. Without Huff, whose timetable is a little bit uncertain, but Ike not been 100% after missing those 3 games. I worry that there's a chance he may miss 1 or 2 games coming down the stretch, maybe out of load management, or if he does play in a big game, he may not be 100%. And like I said, we've seen them look vulnerable, and they lost to Portland That was frankly pretty embarrassing. And a couple other close calls too. San Francisco at home only won by 2. Yeah, I think this is one where I think Santa Clara has a little bit of value. I mean, they're legitimately up a game right now in the standings. They beat this team last year. They have real talent, and they have size at the rim. So I need to go through sort of the simulation and schedule in the matchups. But I just off the top of my head, I kind of agree with the fact that the market's a little bit clinging to the Gonzaga name brand, not really accounting for the situation and context of where they're at.
Okay.
He is Matt Cox. The 3-man weave is the name of the show, at Matty_Cox on the Twitter machine. I appreciate the time, buddy, and good luck.
Appreciate you, fellas. Take care.
When we come back, a couple of little NFL nuggets to discuss. Before we go country clubbing, we're going to talk some golf. Kelly Bidlin, I can't wait to be on the desk with you for some country clubbing, buddy.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Check out Stormy and JVT on Money Moves, only on VSiN.
And maybe that's why they wouldn't, because they're the Giants and they don't do things that make sense.
Out of all these divisions, this is the one that I am the most curious about because I do think there are positive signs for the Bears.
They'll take you on a fun, fast-paced journey, weaving in everything you need to know to make an educated bet, while also not shying away from the excitement of a same-game parlay sweat. Money Moves, weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers game here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Matt Brown, Kelly Bidlin in here. Clint Kubiak, officially official. He is now officially your coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, and they will presumably spend that number one pick on a quarterback. So I think that you bring in a dude that had a good season with Sam Darnold, and you have him take the Fernando Mendoza under his wing, and you try to say, hey, can you groom this guy to be a successful NFL quarterback? I think the hire is fine. I think what they're probably trying to do is, as a organization, is fine. Now, they got to get rid of Max Crosby. Like, you're wasting an asset because you're still 2 or 3 years away from actually really competing. And so you are going to get the most for him now. So you got to move him. But outside of that, I think they're doing fine. And Kubiak now officially official. We knew it was happening anyway.
He was it was pretty comical after the Super Bowl with I didn't even hear it. I was just reading the quotes. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody that excited to go, oh, yeah, I'm going to the Raiders, and I'm excited to get there. Like, you just won a Super Bowl, man, and soak it in. I think I like the hire. I think there's a lot of these coaches that we saw get hired this cycle, Matt, where I've got questions about, right? How's this going to work out? But, I mean, a lot was made of that Seattle defense and special teams, rightfully so, all season long. But, man, what that offense was able to do and how far we've come around on Sam Darnold. I mean, Kenneth Walker winning a Super Bowl MVP, I don't think was anything I was ever going to say in my lifetime. Like, offense played really well this year. And I always said this about JSN winning Offensive Player of the Year. It's just when you started the year, it was the one weapon everybody knew they had. And the fact that nobody was almost ever able to take that away from a game plan was one of the more impressive things I saw all season long.
JSN had nothing but, glowing things to say about Kubiak, saying that they got a good one. Darnold said the same thing. So we shall see. The proof will be on the field here a little bit later. And I don't know if this is a good thing for you guys out there that are Patriots fans and whatever, but Will Campbell came out and said he played the whole postseason with a torn knee ligament. Of course, there was a ton of footage of him just getting roasted left and right all postseason long. Maybe that has to do with something going on with the knee. I can only imagine you are not as good at your position as left tackle when your knee doesn't work properly. So, maybe that makes you feel better that it wasn't that he isn't a air quote bust or something like that. We'll see. I don't know. They still might move him inside when it's all said and done. But Campbell says he's going to have to get that cleaned up and was playing with a bum knee.
I think it's a solid PR move by the Will Campbell camp, right? Before this kid goes too far, I don't know how severe it was, how nothing it was, how big it was, but yeah, if there's anything wrong, you should let everybody know that immediately because you got
every
roasted.
Highlight was you just getting toasted.
Yeah. At least put in for however many times they run that all off season. Someone has to say, well, we did hear from Will Campbell he was playing through an injury, so just get that out there.
Guys, ProfitX, the number one place for college basketball player props. Offer all players in all schools in every state. So ProfitX is available. So head over there. And we're getting close to March Madness, so we're giving you a 20% purchase match as well. Go download ProfitX, promo code VSIN to get that 20% purchase match. And just because Gil isn't on the desk, that doesn't mean that people can't tweet in and talk a little bit. So what you got over there?
We get tweets, man, at Matt Brown M2, at Kelly Bidlin. Feel free to tweet along. We might not get to them every segment, but we will absolutely get to them while Gil is out. James Fessler nailed it. Darren Peterson is absolutely a plug-and-play NBAer. He's already mastered load management. Yes, there's plenty of those jokes to be made. Those jokes are easy, James. I expect better out of you, absolutely. When we talk about Peterson going to the pros, that is the first line most people give, but it's fair. It's fair. I get it. This one coming in from Nebo. Love this duo. Gives me flashbacks to my favorite primetime show. What was that, 5 years ago? Who are we missing? Wes? Have a show, boys. That was a tweet. Wes is on with us, Long Shots. We will be recording later today for Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Primetime action was the two of us and Gil Alexander.
It was. It was.
And then I guess a rotating cast of characters.
The greatest show to ever get canceled here on the network.
That's right. Colin Murphy, Utah has been an awesome second quarter team as of late. A lot of Jazz tweets. I was not expecting this. Utah has been an awesome second quarter team as of late. Play them in the second quarter and then fade them for the game. As brought up earlier, man, if they're going to keep doing this stuff, I think there are multiple different routes that you could go betting this team, betting against this team, betting on this team like that. I think it's a fair point by Colin Murphy. Jed O'Connor. think the Jazz are live, getting points the rest of the season, especially the next few games, while the market adjusts to the J.J. Lowry front court combo. Matt, I don't know about you, but that's where I think this problem comes into play. If I knew they were playing their full load of minutes every day, I think that's a fair tweet. But we've seen the Jazz are not going to do that.
Yeah, and we don't really know exactly how they're going to do this the rest of the season. So I think we need at least a little bit more sample size, and then maybe we can come to at least not a definitive conclusion, but at least one that we feel comfortable moving forward with that narrative.
What they really need is whoever's running PR for Will Campbell, they need to get over to Salt Lake City because Jaren Jackson Jr. needs a foot cramp or something like immediately, okay?
Yeah, just something going on with that. Yeah.
Speaking of this, okay, we've got a tweet from, this is a podiatrist, allegedly, located in Las Vegas, okay, at Footnerve, tweeted at me, at Jason Tatum, is not a surprise at all, and I don't believe he'll be hindered much at all coming back. The use of the latest technology, including stem cells, really does accelerate things by almost half. This is not your typical, you're out for a season anymore. So I know we've heard different things from doctors about these Achilles tears. Okay. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. I mean, they're also, we should bring up, they're superhuman, these guys. So
yeah, they're already
they heal faster than we do anyway.
I know you've been.
Their genetics are better than ours.
Yes, Jason Tatum, slightly different build than me. Slightly,
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just I've been working hard, but I'm still a little ways away.
So we did this little podcast here on the network. You might have heard of it, called Long Shots. It'll be out a little bit later today, but that not going to stop us from giving a little preview here. So let's go country clubbing.
Well, that's good. Welcome to the club, man. Still wondering what those people are drinking.
Look at all those
mocktails.
Look at all those people that were either trust fund babies or are leaving trust funds to their babies. Right there.
That's right, man. They're having a great time. They're having a great time. Must be very entertaining filming that B-roll.
I would love to be why could I have not been a trust fund baby? That would have been fantastic.
Still time.
No, that time's gone. Hopefully I can just be the trust fund person or something like that. But yes, definitely not a trust fund baby for me. So we're going to head to Pebble Beach, guys. This is one of the best ones to watch from a viewing standpoint, strictly for the views. If you like watching nature in all of its glory, then you are going to love watching this tournament. Pebble Beach is stunning. Even when the weather doesn't cooperate, it's still stunning. That's the thing.
Like,
we
saw that
awesome.
recently. Yeah, we saw that recently just a couple years ago with Wyndham Clark winning here. So this is, you're absolutely right. Gorgeous. It is. I don't know how you feel about it. I think for us golf bettors and the super hardcore golf fans, I don't know if it's your favorite. It's not my favorite course or tournament. I think the Pro-Am gets a little clunky, but we've dialed back a little bit on that this year. Only 2 rounds.
This is a signature event, so we're down to 80 guys. We don't have to do the. We used to go to 3 different courses. Now we're only doing 2. 75% of this tournament is played on Pebble Beach. So we, at least from us, from a golf handicapping standpoint, can kind of focus in at least a little bit more on that. That's one of the difficult things whenever we play these multi-course tournaments, Kelly, is just that, like, usually one course plays exponentially easier than others and all of that, and we don't really know exactly how to handicap it top to bottom, but we have a decent amount of sample size here with Pebble Beach. Spyglass obviously been in the rotation for a while. We kind of know how that is going to play as well, and we're going to get the big purse for the first time this season, which obviously means all the big names are coming out as well.
Yeah, well, we'll see Rory, Shane Lowry, Tommy Fleetwood for the first time over here in the States. So that's important. Odds board right now, Scotty Scheffler plus 295, Rory 13-1, these over at DraftKings. Then we drop down to 25-1, Xander Schauffele and Siwoo Kim. You will find him there. Siwoo just on a tear. Victor Hovland, Cameron Young, 27-1. Tommy Fleetwood, 28-1, as well as Justin Rose. Everybody else, 29-1 or longer.
Yes, good on you, by the way, this past week. I know you probably talked about it yesterday, getting an outright home. It was a very unlikely one to get home. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. In golf betting, you gotta take the lucky ones too, man. Like that's the thing. It's like,
how many times are we on the wrong side of that? It feels like
exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure that it's just as happy as you were. There's probably people who were heartbroken for Hideki.
It's a brutal loss if you were on Decky. It was really all hit. I will say though, it's going to get lost in history a little bit. That shot that Chris Goddard hit on 18 is second to put it just a couple feet from the hole. One of the best golf shots I've seen in a long time.
There's one thing here at the plus 295 with Scotty. He played the worst round basically of the last 3 years for him and still finish one stroke out at the playoff. Just to let you know, he was the best player in the field from Friday to Sunday, and that lets you know what his floor now is still top 10, basically.
It's wild.
His floor is still top 10.
Yeah, it's insane. I can't argue with the number this week. It's going to be hard to argue with the odds all year long. You and I will get into more of this on long shots and then more tomorrow on the show. We'll kind of go through everything we are betting. I went through most of it last night, though, Matt. I will tell you, I think it's going to be a small outright card for me. One I really like, though, Russell Henley. I'm in on Henley. Shocker. Kelly